Alex Hormozi's dark psychology secrets when it comes to marketing. We were like that person in the street begging for money off everyone. So it's all about sending the right offers to the right people and selling it in private. I don't care if it's your Instagram account or if it's your Facebook account, your YouTube account. You don't own that audience. At this point, I'm even sending out more free stuff. So I want to gain their trust. I want them to realize that we can help them in their specific situation. If they are the right people, which is key, and you give them the right stuff, why wouldn't they take it? It just makes sense. You can apply the same tactics that he uses, and you don't need to wait 4 years to do this. Alright guys, welcome back to another video with Work-Life and Balance. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Alex Hormozi's dark psychology secrets when it comes to marketing and how he managed to make over $106 million in 3 days. And it was a 4-year preparation. So he had this planned the whole time. When he first launched his $100 million offers book 4 years ago, he called it that name for a reason. We didn't know it at the time. No one knew it at the time. We thought it was a little bit to do with his net worth. And he had the validation to have that title. But little did we know that his third book was going to actually do over $100 million in 3 days during the launch and break a Guinness World Record. Now, before you think, how is this even going to help me? Because I'm always on YouTube looking for things that's going to help my business and improve myself. This is going to actually help you with your service business, your coaching business, your consultancy business, any service business online. You can apply the same tactics that he uses, and you don't need to wait 4 years to do this, all right? You can apply it straight away because he's still been making money throughout this whole process, but in private. And that's going to be the thing that you're going to learn, how you manage to do that, and how you manage to sell in private, but you advertise publicly, and you seem like you're this god. Like he does, he presents himself as this god that just gives value for free, right? The thing that really struck me was he's always been massive on giving away the best free things, better free stuff than anyone else's paid stuff. And yet he then went and invested heavily in school, which I think he invested over 100 million. I might be wrong. In school, which is a platform that literally allows creators to start a business for free or for very little, low cost. But they're selling courses, which kind of goes against his whole philosophy of give away everything for free and sell the implementation. So for me, that made me realize that this guy is just a genius when it comes down to marketing, and he's doing this stuff, the same stuff he says not to do. He does it behind the scenes, so he sells in private, right? And this is how you can do that yourself. How has he managed to do this? First of all, we need to understand the funnel. We need to understand the framework and the spine behind an online business, what actually goes on. This is how you're running your business as well. I'm going to talk about it from my perspective as well, because we scaled PB Academy, a fitness coaching service. We built a team of over 5 coaches, a sales system. We scaled to over 250 active members, active clients, which is more than anyone else I know of in terms of we didn't have a big following either. So very successful in that space, and that's been my experience over the last 10 years. Separately to that, we built the gym as well to over 500 members locally, different business altogether. So that's my experience, right? And why I feel like I know what I'm talking about in this stuff, and I just obsess over looking at other guys in the space anyway. So Alex Hormozi, we went out to his workshop in Vegas as well. So we were one of those guys that were sold behind the scenes. This wasn't an offer they put out on social media, nothing like that. It's just we got into his ecosystem and we were sold. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you about that now as well. So this is the funnel, right? So I'm not going to take up too much space, but just imagine a funnel here, because there's so much we need to actually include into this. And the 3 parts I want to talk about is just the 3 parts to a business anyway. So first of all, you've got leads at the top, right? Which I'm actually going to put up here. I'm going to make it into 4 parts. So you've got leads, and then you've got sales, and then obviously down here, we're not going to talk much about this today, which is delivery. Right, I don't know if you can even see that. So that's what your service actually is. And most people, yeah, you can. Most people actually obsess over the delivery. But I'm assuming at this point, if you're selling something, you're probably very good at what you do. Like, let's say fitness coach. You should know enough to be a good fitness coach, or to at least start off. If you can help someone that was in the position you were in before get to the level where you are at now or have been before, so it might even be lower than you are. If you can help someone move from A to B, That's what matters. As long as you're selling that and you're not selling, for example, how to become Mr. Olympia if you have no experience in doing that, right? That's a bodybuilding reference. But you should be good at delivery. Let's just assume you're good at delivery. So what we're talking about today is the funnel of marketing. So above that as well, which is the key thing, you need traffic, right? So I'm just going to list now quite a lot of ways of getting traffic. So most people just assume that it's like, social media. And this might be very basic right now, but it is going to get pretty complex. So if you're thinking, yeah, I know this stuff, hurry up. I will get to the point very quickly, right? So you've got organic, and then you've got paid. So paid is obviously paid, so I wouldn't start with that. It's a quick way to burn a lot of money. I've burned tens of thousands of pounds on paid ads. And it does work eventually when you get the system right, but to get it right and to learn it, it's like another skill in itself. So I would definitely hire an agency. We even did that as well. It is very difficult and tough to learn. Now, organic is where we were very successful because we had a great system in place where we would follow a lot of his strategies, Alex Hormozi's strategies, where you're giving away a lot of free value to get people into your ecosystem. And this is what we did exceptionally well because we didn't have a large following. But what we did do, following his recommendations, is we went on and we built fantastic lead magnets. So you can have like mini offers here. So lead magnets, which is basically, let's just say, an insight into your program, something small you can give away. That's basically it can be anything. It can be any mini offer that doesn't require a lot of your time or fulfillment, but you can structure this in whatever way possible. I'm not going to be talking a lot about this. I want to explain the funnel first of all. So this could be a whole separate video in itself, like what are the best lead magnets to do. But anyway, this is all to get traffic, right? And these are the mini offers that turns people into leads. So this is what he does. So he doesn't sell publicly. He gets a lot of his traffic from content. You can be on the content hamster wheel, and this is why things are going to change massively going into the next year. Now it's 2025 at this point here. We're going into 2026 because it's in December, and the algorithms of social media, of all the short form platforms, have changed so much, and it's affecting a lot of business owners, especially coaches. It's changed completely. So when we really scaled up and when we were really putting everything into PB Academy, it was like 2022, maybe 2023, 24, yeah. So those years, and we started to notice a change in the algorithm towards 2024. I think that's when things started to shift. But luckily we had this system in place anyway. So what we would do is we would get people into our ecosystem, right? Because just imagine this part here, it's like out of your control completely, really. Yes, you can learn to be good at content and adapt to the algorithm and what's working and what's going to be great content for people to watch. The same with paid media. Like, things change and you need to adapt towards those things, but you're constantly changes and adapting. It's not like a system you can build and then it's done and it's good for life. It's not like that. So that is something that is like needs constant attention. You got a hell of a lot of time and money going into organic as well as paid, which obviously requires money to just play the game anyway. So that's getting you the traffic, that's getting you the eyeballs on. And the story I want to give to you here, right, as to why people don't sell or shouldn't sell in public, which I would see this as public, right? Once they become leads and once they get into your ecosystem, it's then private. Just imagine you walk in a busy city, in a busy high street, and how frustrating is it? You might be a nicer person than me, but how frustrating is it when you've got people on the streets, right? And this is usually parts of charities where they want to take your money, and most of the big charities, they only need to actually give 5% towards the cause. That's the rules in the UK. So I'm not a big fan of big charities. I don't mind giving money away to help people. We've given a lot of money away, especially through PB Academy, but I don't like the idea of these big charities because I understand that there's the non-profits, and most of them tend to be paying a lot of their employees, a lot of their people within their business, the owners of the business, a lot more money than they probably should get paid. So anyway, that's off topic again, but I'm not a fan of them anyway. And when their employees or those people are standing there in the streets and they're shouting at you to try and get you to give your money to them, 99% of people maybe don't want to give money, right? So they're shouting in public to everyone. And what does that do for most people that don't want to give the money? They get really annoyed, or they try to walk past them. They feel awkward. If they had the choice of not following them, right, or not seeing them, they would select that button. They would block them because they don't want to be part of it. So they don't want what they have to offer, and they don't want to give their money towards it. Now, just imagine that for your social media. If you're advertising something publicly, where you're offering something, you're trying to get people to pay you money, and you're doing this on social media publicly to everyone that follows you, there's a large percentage of your following, of your audience, that's going to get really annoyed, and they don't want to actually consume what you're putting out there, because they don't want to buy what you're selling, basically. So this is the big idea behind Alex Hormozi's sell in private and give value in public, because it is going to shape your audience to be, when you pop up on the screen on social media, when they're clicking on these apps for entertainment, not to be sold to, or to learn, then they're gonna be getting that every single time. So they know when they click on your apps, it's always going to be value, even through paid. He's always giving away value through paid. So when you watch his stuff, it's always going to be good. And that's something we adopted, and we were constantly just giving out value as much as we possibly could. And I trialed the other way as well. I heavily promoted events that we did. I heavily promoted challenges that we did, which was there to get people to sign up and pay directly. And it really hurt our brand. It really did hurt our brand. So the more often we did it, the more hurt it would the more pain and problems it would cause, and the more people didn't want to watch our stuff. The more people actually talked bad about us, because they just were fed up of seeing our stuff. We were like that person in the street begging for money off everyone. So I've been on both sides of this, and I learned the hard way that is not the way you want to do things. What is the solution? What should you do? And it's all about owning your audience, right? On here, you need to realize that even if I don't care if it's your Instagram account or if it's your Facebook account, your YouTube account, you don't own that audience. Whatever platform you're on, they own the audience. They own the people on there. You need to transfer them into something different that you actually own. So we're going to write down the other ways you can do this. And that is by getting their email. You can get their SMS, their text number. You can get them into your CRM, so you know how to contact them. You can send out automated email campaigns or SMS campaigns or anything like that. You can get them into your community, if you have a community on like school, for example, and you can get them into your WhatsApp, so like a group chat, right? So these are the different ways that you can start to own your audience. And when you've got these people here, what we do, right, and this is what we do, we qualify them. So we have a little lead form that, even for like a soft entry, because we don't want to put people off with a massive questionnaire, we have at least 2 multiple choice questions. So they're multiple choice for a reason, because again, it removes any friction. They don't have to think about the answer. There's 3 pre-selected, multiple choice answers that they can give, and whichever one they select, it goes into our CRM. And inside our CRM, it's just a management system. Basically, think of it as like a large spreadsheet to manage people, to manage all your leads. And the different metrics we will have will be, for example, if it's a B2B offer, it'll be 0 to 2K a month. It'll be 2 to 5K, 5 to 10K, 10 to 20, and then 20 plus, right? Why do you think that's important? Because for us, we know that the stages of those businesses are at very different stages, and the problems they have and the solutions they need and the pain points they have, all totally different people. So once we have these, and we have other multiple choice questions as well, depending on the offer, depending on what we're putting out. If it's a fitness offer, it's totally different because it's B2C. But we know now that our email campaigns, and this is all automated as well, but it takes a lot to set up, obviously. But at first, when you've got a low amount of traffic coming through, you can do this manually anyway. It's not a problem. So every single one of these emails, SMS, the way we message them, the way we put them into the community, the types of offers we send out to them are now totally different, and they're more likely to hit home, because we know if they're at that stage, that's going to be the problem they've got. That's going to be the thing they want to solve. So we know we're not going to be frustrating them or annoying them. And at this point, I'm even sending out more free stuff. So I want to gain their trust. I want them to realize that we can help them in their specific situation. So whatever we send them on email, which usually is going to be more content for them to consume. It could be a long YouTube video, just for them to spend more time with me, to have more trust, or we can send out free resources, free offers that again is better than most people's paid stuff at this point, so that when they get it, they get to try it, they get a feel for it, and they get a good experience, and they start to trust us even more. So it's all about, depending on what stage you're at, is it about building more trust, or is it about just sending them the right offers, sending them the right content to watch? So this is our experience with Alex Hormozi as well, and his team. So when we went into his ecosystem, for example, we opted into the I think it was like the, I can't remember. It was something he put out anyway. We opted into it, and then all of a sudden, because of the whatever we filled in on that form, we were obviously funneled into a different direction, and we were like, right, we think the workshop would be right for you. Then we get a sales guy calling us up, trying to speak to us, sort us out, take us through the sales system. We wanted to go out there anyway. It wasn't a case of us being sold to, and it was a great day. It was a great event, but it was because it was perfect for us. It was perfect for us at our time. At the stages we were going through, the struggles we had, they thought it would be right for us. We knew, and we trusted Alex because of the amount of content I consumed over the years, the books I'd read from him. So it's all about sending the right offers to the right people and selling it in private, because everyone else that follows him, he's speaking to the masses, right? He's got millions of followers now. So there's going to be the large majority of his following, as much as they're interested in business, they're probably not at the right stage to be able to spend 10k on an offer to just go for a day in a workshop. But we were that right person. So instead of him just shouting out to everyone, listen, if you want to come down, it's 10k to come to the workshop, it wouldn't work, and it would actually probably frustrate the majority of his audience. And imagine if every couple of weeks or every week, now and again, there's an offer going out like that, and it's just alienating everyone that can't go. And then it's like, it seems desperate to the people that even can go, and they don't want to go anymore because they're just offering it to everyone. Whereas this seemed like a genuine invitation, the way it was sent out to us, and no one else knows about it. No one else is aware of it. So that's the best way to sell, and that's how he does it. And then depending on the way you want to actually convert these people, there's loads of different options. You can have sales calls, which is what he had for that offer. You can have a workshop, which the funny thing about it was the sales call and the 10k offer at the beginning, because it was both of us, me and Beth, that went out. You go to this workshop, and then he just upsells you to, if you want to do a couple of days out there, if you want to speak to him directly, it can be like a 50k, 100k offer. And these are the different ways you can do it. But you can sell people to a webinar. You can do it to a VSL. It depends on the value of the product you're actually selling. It can just be straight to a landing page. So it literally depends on what you are selling, what the product is. Whether you need to take them to a sales call, whether you want to try and sell them in a conversation just on messages, you want to send them a long form welcome pack VSL, which is what we promote heavily. It basically just injects all the trust, shows people who you are, what you do, and why they should work with you, all in just a pre-recorded video. You remove the pitch from the call. That's something we promote massively on this channel. So it's transformed my business. If you want to have a look at how that works below, you can click the link below. But yeah, this is the system you need to be running. If you advertise online, you need to realize that this is all about just gaining trust and getting traffic at that point. In terms of short form content, it's going to take you way too long for you to build up hours of watch time with that individual that follows you. It's going to take you months, maybe years, for them to eventually trust you. So you need to convert them to either watch more of your stuff, or ideally you need to own that audience so you can send them more of your stuff directly to the right people. So think about those metrics there. How can you qualify people so that they're getting the right stuff, and they're actually going to be valuing everything you're sending them and thinking, well, this guy really understands me. So that's what you need to do. You need to basically be like a genius publicly, and like the guy that just keeps on giving and doesn't seem to ever take. And then in private, you can be offering the right people the right stuff. And if they are the right people, which is key, and you give them the right stuff, why wouldn't they take it? It just makes sense. You just need to make sure they are the right people and you are offering the right stuff. As simple as that sounds, right? So I hope that makes sense. And then you can convert them in all sorts of ways. It depends on what you want to do. There's loads of different ways depending on the offer and the value of the offer. And then you make sure you just deliver a good service. So that's how the online world works. It used to be different. You could get away with offering a lot more on the upfront before publicly, But now the game has changed completely because the algorithms has changed. And if you're just seen as someone that's just selling straight away and people don't watch all of your videos all the way through because they know it's a sales pitch, then it's not going to be shown to enough people. It's going to hurt your brand over time. So try to be the guy that just keeps on giving on the upfront on social media, and then sell in private. So just like this video now, if you click that link below, then it's going to be, it's only the right people that want to actually scale their business are going to click below, that do, if they have a sales call, it's going to save them time, it's going to increase their close rate. So if they click below, they then get entered into my CRM, and they will be sent, based on their metrics, they will be sent those things that's going to be right for them. So they're only going to see stuff that's going to benefit them. So that's the way we set up the system. You can experience that for yourself if you want to, and it will help you if you're in that position. So that's the way you should be setting up your business as well. So right now, this has just been pure value. You've learned a lot. Hopefully you can see exactly how this system works and how Alex Hormozi uses it, and how he built up this massive database of his audience, and he built up so much anticipation within his ecosystem for this big launch to get over 100,000 people on there. And then he just made the right offer to those people that were on the call to break records with his $100+ million sales. So I hope that makes sense. Just exposing a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes. And if you like this, and you're trying to scale a service business online, make sure you subscribe. But thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.